Good afternoon. This is Constance from Mrs. T Weddings, and today I am continuing Lockdown Lives. We're almost at the end of lockdown. I'm very excited. And I am going to be joined by Ellen, the lovely Ellen who runs Harriet's Table. She's going to tell us all about her fabulous tableware hire company. Now I'm just going to invite her and hopefully she will be able to join us any second now. And just waiting to see, but hoping the connection's going to be okay. There she is. Hello.
It works.
It works, exactly. How are you? How's your world?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Now the children are back to school. Massive weight has been lifted from not having to homeschool. Can't say I enjoy it very much.
That is the thing with a lot of these lockdown lives. There's been so many guests that I've wanted to get on. They're like, just can't do it with homeschooling. I just can't. I'm only just coping at the moment. As soon as schools come back, I'm sort of like, right, all these brilliant mums that I've been wanting to speak to, I can finally get my claws into you.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. And even today was really good. The thought of being on here, I got ready this morning and I felt like I was going somewhere.
I know.
I was like, right.
I know.
Not just, normal dog walking clothes.
Yeah,
It's kind of like, I'm going to blow dry my hair.
Yeah, exactly. I know whenever I'm putting my makeup on, I'm like, well, this is for half an hour of my day, but there we go. I've still made the effort.
Yeah. But no, it is good. It is good. And now, obviously, the wedding inquiries are coming through, and it's starting to feel more normal.
Good.
I think until we actually do the weddings and they actually are here, it won't feel real yet.
I know. It is quite a surreal time, isn't it? I think, we're all cautiously optimistic, but there is this real kind of anxiety of, will there be another problem that comes up? But hopefully everything goes according to Boris's old plan and we can all have these weddings that we've been planning as we hoped. So let's talk about you and Harriet's Table. So first of all, biggest thing, and I'm going to slightly complain here as well, is that your company is called Harriet's Table and you are called Ellen. And so every time I go into my emails, I'm like, oh, Harriet, no, Ellen.
I get called Harriet so much, but I love the name.
Why have you called it the most complicated name?
So there is a bit of a story to this. So for those that don't know, I also own Vintage Flair,
yes, which
has been going for 11 years now. And that started when afternoon tea was quite a big deal for weddings. Yeah. So myself and a friend set up the business and we called it Vintage Flair and it tied in perfectly with the vintage themed weddings. Then sort of time evolved and I could picture my more dinner sets on rustic table and it was a different look.
Yeah.
And
more
the hardest thing was thinking, but not vintage.
Yeah.
Is the weird thing, is going away from the vintage concept.
Yeah.
So when I was thinking, I was like, well, I've got two ideal clients really. There's the ones that want the tea party. Yeah. How can I show the people that are having the wedding that this looks really good?
Yeah.
So the hardest thing was, the main thing was not to use the word vintage in the company name. Because people just think bunting and tea parties.
That's true.
They weren't what I was trying to show. So then I was talking about, well, what will I call it? And then someone said, well, who is your ideal client for the business? And I called her Harriet. And Harriet is, I've got two boys, and when I was pregnant with the second, I was convinced it was a girl. And I was like, it'll be called Harriet. She's my little girl. And the boy, which I love.
We do not, no hate for the second child here for not being a girl.
No. But I thought, oh, Harriet, she's not my business. So that is where Harriet came.
Our businesses are our babies, aren't they? So that's brilliant. Oh, that makes complete sense. Lovely. And so you have built this whole business around your fictional Harriet character. You already know all about her and we'll learn more about what she's all about in a bit. But tell us, for anybody that hasn't seen Vintage Flair or Harriet's Table, just tell us a little bit about, what the two businesses specialise in and what they're about.
Okay, so like I said, Vintage Flair is very much focusing on the tea party side of things. It's the cup saucers, tea pots, everything. The way that they're very similar is all my stock is gold gilt fine bone china.
Got it.
So it's like the best of vintage.
Yeah.
Probably the kind of the best way to describe it.
Yeah, it's like fancy vintage.
Yeah, it doesn't look like, so many people think it's new because it really doesn't look old.
Yeah.
And with my glassware collection, it's all crystal. It's all cut crystal.
So
and
pretty.
With my cutlery, it's all silver plated. So it's not cheap stuff.
Yeah, it's not knockoffs. It's the real McCoy.
And I searched the whole country to get the best bits and then just bring them all back together.
Brilliant. Yeah, so how do you source your stock? I mean, how do you do that?
So it takes ages.
I bet. Yeah.
I did a bit of an inventory last week to try and, because I've been picking bits up during lockdown, so I was like, actually, I need to see where I am. And I think with the coloured dinner plates, I'm at something like 250, and then 160 of just the white and gold.
Amazing.
Which is so it's got pretty big now.
Yeah.
And I collect it from mainly antique fairs.
Yeah.
And my mum lives in Yorkshire, and she's always loved antiques and antique hunting. So in her retirement, I literally just sent her shopping lists.
Yeah.
And she's gone to all the antique shops and antique fairs.
That's like her heaven, probably, isn't it?
But she finds it so frustrating because she'll send me a picture going, how about these glasses set? And I'm like, it's not quite the right style. And she's like, but what do you mean? And I'm just like, in my head, I have the perfect, I know what I need to make the collection work. And it can't just be any old bit of crystal glassware.
Yeah.
Or any old.
It's got to be the right shape and not kind of that kind of 80s style. It's got to be kind of slightly more vintage than that. Yeah. I get that.
It's just about making them, when they're together, they look like they're a set.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, although they're different, they look like they're a set because of the way I put them together.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and they do. They look brilliant. We've worked together, and it is just spectacular, the stuff that you have, and the quality is incredible. Like, you know, you'd imagine that things would be kind of chipped and broken and cracked, and everything's just perfect. I mean, it's amazing. You've done an amazing job.
I think you pay quite a premium for the stock.
Yeah,
it's not something that, like, some people, I'll get the odd inquiry where they're like, oh, well, how much would it cost if I had all your stuff instead of my caterers? And sometimes they're like, wow, that's actually quite a lot.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, it's an add-on for your wedding.
Yeah.
Or if you've got like a dry hire venue anyway, then it's not such a difference because you need to get those bits in.
Yeah.
And they're functional, they're decorative.
Yeah.
Because they're different.
They really make a tablescape, don't they? You know, they really make a difference.
So they are kind of multifunctional in that way, that you do get the prettiness from them as well.
Exactly. It's not just any old glass.
No.
And so where are you based? How far do you cover?
So I'm in Sussex, not in Gatwick, and I will deliver to anywhere in the UK. I've done a few events in France now, but that's usually where the wedding stylist or planner will collect from me.
Okay.
Lots of other British companies, and then drive it all out there.
Yeah, sure.
So that's happened a couple of times, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
To go to chateaux and some amazing venues.
Definitely.
But yeah, I will deliver anywhere.
Amazing. I know we're doing quite a few in Oxford this summer together, aren't we? Which I always, every time I ask you, I'm like, are you going to do Oxford? Now you said France. I'm never going to be questioning that. You're like, it's only an hour down the road. You can deal with that.
Yeah, I can go anywhere. And I've got a family like across the whole country. So when I go to Oxford, my sister's in the Cotswolds. I'm like,
ideal.
You know, and because we've been in lockdown for so long, I'm just screaming to go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly, now especially. Oh, that's great. So let's talk a bit more about your ideal client, Harriet. Let's talk about kind of what she's about. So who, you know, I know that you said that, you know, it's a premium product. It's something that people are going to have as an add-on to their wedding. You know, what else is there? You know, what can people really, you know, who are you really talking to? So
the couples that would want my stock generally are people that want something that's a little bit different, that's going to stand out from the crowd, but also there's a huge sustainable element to the stock because it's pre-loved. But when I say pre-loved, some of this would have been given to someone's grandma for their wedding present, and it's having its entire life. So it's now having its life now.
Yeah, it's living the life instead of just gathering dust on a dresser in a
so it's
somewhere.
It is just using products that are in the country already. They're there and they need to be used. So that's when I collect them all up and bring them together, and then you have this collection. So, I mean, it drives me a little bit nuts, but I do get weekly emails from manufacturers in China saying,
Oh, really?
do you want to buy this full product cheap? We can ship it to you for cheap. Your like loads of your competitors do this. Like, well, no, because there's loads in this country already. We just got to use it and find it.
You need to find it and get it out to the right audience. Exactly. Yeah, no, that makes complete sense. And I think, you know, there's a huge amount of hassle factor that you take away as well, especially for those dry hire venues. So do you want to tell us a little bit more about how the process works?
Yeah, so I will pack everything according to your requests. That's another sort of element to my business, is every order goes out very personalized.
Yeah.
So if I have someone that they explain the whole wedding concept to me, and if they are going down the sort of boho route, or they want it to look a bit French en Provence kind of look, then I will pack those plates that will work with the look they're going for.
Yeah.
And I'll keep certain ones that I think might not quite work.
Perfect.
So every single order is packed according to the event it's going to.
Amazing.
And then everything gets delivered, and it's all in crates that have got labels on as to exactly what's in that crate.
I can't tell you how much of a pleasure it is receiving your items. It's immaculate. It's perfect. Everything's wrapped up so well, and the labeling, oh my goodness, it's a dream. It's an absolute dream.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, keep doing it. It's amazing.
It makes it easier when the caterers are packing away. They know exactly how many plates will fit in that box, and they just pack it away, and then I collect it.
Yeah. I
bring it home, and then I wash it because it can't go through commercial dishwashers because of the gold or the crystal or the silver. Like none of it can be destroyed.
Wash everything.
Yes.
Oh my word.
Personally, I have a little team that hand wash everything, and it has to be. It can't just be like. It's quite a strategic system it has to go through, because it still has to be fully hygienic and perfectly polished for the next order.
Yeah.
So it's not so quickly washing it up. It has to, you know, it's got to be with the Dettol. It has to be perfect, because I'd hate to ever have someone say this isn't perfectly spotless or shining.
Absolutely.
That's quite a big time.
I bet it is. Yeah.
Yeah, but it also. I love the whole like just polishing it all off ready for the next person.
Yeah, you're really adding to that kind of storytelling element to it, of kind of the care and consideration that's going into the preparation of the next story it's going to be a part of. So
yeah, and I love that. I love that everyone's table will be different because I've different items for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really, you know, so if somebody wanted to order from you, I mean, they go on, now you've got some really great images on your website as well. You've just updated your website, haven't you?
I've been meaning to do this for like a year. It is crazy. It's been on my list of things to do, because so many people say, so they get that I've got hundreds of plates, but until you throw people a selection together, it's really hard for them to visualize what they could have.
Yeah.
That's why I thought, well, I need to show the hints of boho or hints of blue or green. Even this morning, an inquiry came in saying, can I please have X amount? I love your hints of boho. So I instantly know what they're going for.
Yeah, and that makes it so much easier for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, much easier. So yeah, I had to kind of wait for the kids to get back to school, and then I needed a good 3 solid days to get that done.
Well, you did it, which is very good. Well done.
So it helps a lot.
Yeah, so somebody can go online, they can get the, you know, look at the kind of items that you've got and put together their wish list as such, and then do you send the Excel sheet to them, or can they do it all online now? How does that work now after that?
If they know exactly what they want, people tend to email me with their list and just say, this is what I want, this is how many guests, and then I'll fill the form in, send it back with a quote, including the delivery, a fee on top. But some people don't really know what they want, or they just want to know the price. So I do have an Excel sheet, which you've seen. It's a long list of all my items, and you can just add in your quantities column, and it'll give you an auto total at the bottom. Yeah. And that's quite good for people that want to play around. They're not sure what they want.
Exactly.
So it can work either way, really. And then I do always say to people, send the form back to me before you pay the deposit, because the orders are coming in so fast at the moment that I have had it where someone's paid a deposit and I'm like, I'm really sorry, but that date's not gone.
And it's first come, first served. You've only got a limited amount of stock, haven't you?
Got to get the form back as fast as possible.
Yeah. And with the form, it's really good because we've, you know, done a few of these together. And when they send it back to you, you're so sensible. You always send it back. Any questions? Just like, you've only put 5 of these on. Are you sure you only want the 5? And then when we did an event last time, you're like, I know you said you didn't want this, but I brought you some just in case. You're very conscientious. I do love that.
I think it's because I've been doing it for like 10 years. Yeah. And I can picture how their wedding, I can picture how it's all going to happen, basically. Yeah. I mean, I have some people and they say, oh, I love the tiered look. I want to have like 3 plates tiered up. But then I'll chat to them and I go, but what kind of catering are you having? And they're like, oh, well, we're going to have it like served to the table. And I'm like, well, you don't need 3 plates stacked up. That works perfectly for like a grazing or feasting. But actually think about what your guests are going to see when they arrive at the table.
Yeah.
That's the important bit. What is pre-laid and looking decorative and functional.
Yeah.
And the rest of it will come from the kitchen as the event flows.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think people just need to walk through their meal.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, because we can put amazing pictures everywhere of, you know, plates layered and they look really great.
But functionally.
You have to be practical and it has to work with your catering style.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's, you know, you put the lead down and then a bit like when you go to a posh restaurant, they take that away and then you get the dishes actually plated up for you. But the caterers won't really want that because they'll want to have started plating much earlier than that.
Yeah. It's not practical.
Exactly. So tell me a little bit about your lockdown. What have you been up to over the past, other than homeschooling, what have you been up to over the past year or so?
Well, business-wise, I kept myself really busy and joined in with as many style shoots as I could that were local or with buyers that I know you've already spoken to Holly from Le Catering.
Yeah.
We've done quite a lot of shoots together. So
really complement each other's style, don't you?
Yeah, and they were like the best days of lockdown because you felt like you were working. Well, you are working, you're working on your marketing, but it really felt like work and it was such a nice thing to do. And we were all really, you know, really good with sticking to the rules.
That's good.
Yeah. We were setting up the orangery at Broadhurst Castle and it was like the hottest day of the year.
Yeah.
But it was a tag team as to who went in to set up different things and it worked really well.
So good. Yeah. I think and that's one of the funny things about the styled shoots from the summer, because I did quite a few as well. And it was looking back at the photos, especially the behind the scene photos, it's like, oh my goodness, we weren't wearing masks. But in August, you didn't wear masks. Like it was only the beauty girls that had to wear them at that point. And, you know, it's really weird kind of how quickly we've just acclimatized to our new rules. But at the time, it was quite flexible, you know, which seems bonkers, you know, on reflection.
It was, but we were always very good at keeping our distance.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know what you mean. And people were always like taking your temperature, your head, those kind of things. But yeah, I did a lot of shoots. And also I knew that once weddings started, it was going to be crazy. Yeah. So this year, I am turning away a lot of shoots because we need the bookings, don't we? We need to do the actual.
Exactly. I know, I'm the same. I'm not doing any shoots this year at the moment just because I've got too many weddings.
I know, and that's exciting.
It is. It really is.
I mean, we live in a Victorian house that's like a full-on renovation project.
Oh, wow.
We're into year 2, and I had hoped we'd been a lot further along the line, but last year kind of threw a spanner in the works. So we've been doing a lot of work ourselves. So we've been just like, you know, chipping away at plaster, decorating rooms, ripping out fireplaces.
Oh, wow.
The kids and the dogs.
Oh my goodness, what a year you've had. Wow. And then so let's talk about this summer then. So it's looking bonkers. Tell me a little bit about it.
No more inquiries for the 26th of June. Like, we are fully booked.
I'm one of them.
I got 3 on that day and I calculated that there's going to be like 430 pieces of glassware out. Everything is out that day.
Wow.
Notification. Yeah, everything's out that day. It's going to be crazy, but great at the same time.
Yeah, what a big day that's going to be. Oh my goodness, I really hope it all goes according to plan. It's so close.
I will see you.
Yeah, you'll see me. we'll kind of, well, we won't be able to be near each other. I was going to say we'll fall into each other's arms, but we'll kind of distantly fall into each other's arms. And so tell me about these summer weddings. So how, you know, how extreme are they? Are there some people that do kind of do, you know, 120 person weddings and everyone's got the whole, you know, dinner service?
Well, yesterday I had to turn down one because I've already got a booking for that date, but it was a 160 people wedding.
Wow.
So people are booking big weddings again, they're back. I think there's a lot of people being cautious still, so there's still quite a lot of sort of 30 to 40, 30 to 50 size wedding.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's also the 120, 150, we're going for it. So yeah, it's a real variety, and it's the barns, the teepees, the marquees.
There's also higher venues, your real sweet spots, aren't they?
But there has been a slight shift, I think, since I've introduced the white and gold collection, and I've increased more into my crystal glassware collection. Then there's also a lot of people with like a more sort of typical venue that are just upgrading on those pieces.
They want to prettify it.
Yeah, and I get so many inquiries for the crystal champagne saucers.
I bet.
But I've done quite a lot of the London hotels. I had a phone call from someone in Italy who they're getting married in London in December, and they really just want the crystal champagne saucers for their welcome drinks.
Yeah.
So a lot of people they're just searching for those and finding me, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, although you're a premium listing, you're a lot cheaper than buying them from Soho House. So we've got them, and we had them as a wedding present from there. And I mean, you know, they are bonkers the price. So you know, still a great option for somebody that's budget savvy.
But yeah, and they get to use these real premium products.
Yeah, exactly.
They're beautiful, yeah. So
lovely.
Well, that's exciting. I love the variety of my clients as well. You get such a variation, and also I've had quite a lot of. I think because people last year missed out on special events.
Yeah.
So I'm supplying quite a lot of just garden parties or anniversaries where they've hired a chef to come in and do a really nice meal.
Yeah.
That's more local because it's smaller orders, but I'm getting an event planners are coming to me to collect things that they can use for their clients' occasions, just to make it extra special.
Exactly. Oh, that's lovely. I love that so much. And I mean, there are other tableware hire companies out there. You have got competition, not tons of it, but you have got competition. What makes you distinctive? What makes Harriet's Table distinctive?
I think it's different to a lot of the vintage China hire companies because it is premium, the offering. And where a lot of companies will have a lot of mixed products, mixed styles, mixed colours going out, I do try and have these that I put into collections. And with my cutlery, my dinner cutlery, it's all King's pattern silver cutlery.
Wow.
Which is really shiny, super shiny. And I kind of feel like when you've got your place setting, because you've got your crystal glassware and then you've got your plates, and they might be slightly, when you look closely, they might be slightly different, but because your cutlery is the same for every place setting, I feel like you need some a consistency
across. Yeah, it's a really good point.
And usually, so I like the cutlery, it all has to be the same, which when I started it, I was like, I know why this has to be the way for finding stock.
Bane of your life.
Luckily, it's quite a lot now. But to start with, it was a lot of mile searching, and it's not cheap buying canteens of silver cutlery either.
I bet. Yeah.
But when on the table, it really, really does stand out.
Amazing.
And sometimes it's only when you compare it to the stainless steel.
Yeah, you really see that difference.
How sparkly it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say I'm slightly different in that sense, that it is a unique offering.
Yeah.
And then you've got the personal touch with all the orders. It's a sustainable product.
Yeah.
It's not something that I've just bought a huge shipment from China or somewhere. Like England, one of the best manufacturers of fine bone china and the cutlery up in Sheffield. That's what they're famous for. So yeah, we produce some really good quality products in this country, and it's just finding them and bringing them back to life, really.
Brilliant. Oh, that's so good.
Which is exciting.
Say that again, sorry.
It's just giving them their, like, their life that they were meant to have. That's rather than sitting in cabinets. So
yeah, and I think we all know so many, you know, gorgeous dinner sets that just sit there gathering dust in granny's homes and things, or parents' homes.
It's the best. We can't use it. It's for best.
Exactly. It's like when does best actually happen? When is best? But at least with you, it's always a great excuse, whether it be a wedding or a party or a birthday, whatever it is. It's always best.
I think some people do worry, like, what if it gets broken?
Yeah. Yeah. So
like,
what does happen with that? Talk us through that, because that is an anxiety for lots of people. You're right.
Yeah. So I do, like, when we're going through the booking, I will send out the terms and conditions, which has a page of all the replacement fees, basically. And I just say, have a look through it. I don't take a damage deposit. I used to, but it's just such a hassle because hardly anything ever got broken. So it's just constantly moving money around. Yeah. So I just say, as long as you agree to my terms and conditions, that if anything does get damaged, that's the replacement fee.
Yeah.
Hardly anything gets broken.
Yeah.
I think people, they treat it with such respect. And as well as that, it's like when you're sat down at the table, it's a real talking point between people at the table, looking at the different patterns, and some, like the odd bit of cutlery, will have engraving on the handle of the couple they should be given to for their wedding day.
Oh, so lovely.
People do compare it and talk about it, but they do treat it with respect, so there's hardly any breakages. And if it does get broken, it's just one of those things.
Yeah. And because it's not, you know, it isn't like you've just got one collection, every piece is identical. It's not like you can't ever replace them. You know, it's just hard work having to, like, get your mum out there at all the trade fairs trying to find the pieces you want.
That's it.
But, you know, it isn't in that sense that then a set is ruined because one piece is broken as well, which is, you know, a bit of a blessing in that sense. So I guess lots of people, you know, like you said earlier, don't come to you and don't really know what they want. Do you offer a styling service with this, or is it just kind of a bit of help and advice based on all your experience?
Yeah, I am happy to pass on any advice I've got, really, because some people have a real clear vision, and they send me pictures and they're like, I need this. Yeah. Other people are like, I need to hire your stuff, but I don't know what I want or what I need. Yeah. So I'm happy to, and when you do talk to people about their weddings, you can quite quickly gauge what look will look right for them. But when it comes to the actual event styling, on occasion I've had some couples say, can I pay you to help set the tables, because they just feel it's like a big task. The majority of people will have a wedding planner, or they have it hired the day before, 2 days before, and then it's like a big family event.
Everyone digs in.
Yeah, but the majority of times there's a stylist or a wedding planner that will take charge of setting the tables up. Yeah. But I do often get asked to send the wedding planner or the stylist a snapshot of how they want the table. Yeah. Yeah, how they want it set up.
That's a good idea. I'll be getting you to do that for me. Thank you. And with the collection times and things, how is it that people have it for 24 hours or for 12 hours? How does the timings work? Because that's something that other people get quite nervous about as well.
Yeah, it's totally flexible. So I'm happy for the usual drop-off is the day before the wedding, and then usually collect the day after. Yeah. Some venues, they need it out. They'll be saying come about 8 o'clock in the evening. Other people might want it 2 days before. Yeah. So I'm totally flexible, and as long as people tell me at the point of booking, so I can logistically figure out all the deliveries for those weekends, then it's fine. Yeah, it's totally fine.
That's fantastic. I think that makes such a difference, that it isn't quite so regimented as some companies are, because it can get quite stressful. You know, the plates aren't arriving until X time, and you know, or we've got to be out of the venue by this time, but the plates won't be collected for another day. What are we going to do? Get Uncle Roger to take them all back home with him or something, you know.
And I quite like it when it's delivered the day before, because it is one less stressful thing for the couples to worry about.
That peace of mind. Yeah.
Especially as most of my journeys will involve the M25 as well. So I like it to be done and dusted. Plenty of time.
Oh, brilliant. Well, look, thank you so much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure learning all about Harriet's Table. If anybody wants to get in touch with you, and I know that you probably don't want any more inquiries for this year, but if they did, or they wanted to inquire about next year or 23, what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Well, they can either on Instagram, they can drop me a DM. Yeah. I'm quite happy for DMs to come in. Right. or on my website, there's a contact me page,
Perfect.
which is perfect, an inquiry form.
Brilliant.
Number, give me a call. Not many people phone these days, but when they do, it's great. I love having a chat about a wedding.
I know nobody ever calls. If my phone rings, I'm like, what is going on here?
But it's so much quicker than the backwards and forwards emails.
It's true. You just get it all sorted.
Yeah. If anyone wants to give me a call about a wedding, phone away.
Always happy to pick up the phone. Oh, lovely. Yep. Well, look, thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely Easter weekend. And yeah, have a great bank holiday weekend, everybody. And thank you for joining us. So have a great time.
Thank you. See you in June.
See you then. Take care. Bye.
Bye.